Good day, class. You are welcome back to mathematics class. Today we shall continue with our topic variation, but today we are going to be looking at inverse variation. Okay, so let's begin by taking some examples under inverse variation. So the first question says, if x is inversely proportional to y and x is equal to 22 when y is equal to 3. Find the relationship between x and y. Solution. Okay, so in our previous class, we looked at direct proportion. Okay, but this time around is inverse proportion. And when we are talking about inverse, take for example, if we are given y, so the inverse of y will be 1 over y. Is that understood? Okay, so that is what inverse is all about. Now let's answer this question. We have that x is inversely proportional to y. Alright, so just like we did in direct variation, we are going to change this proportional sign to equal sign. And when we do that, we have to introduce a constant. Okay, so we have constant times 1, that is k. So k is now my constant, then divided by y. Is that understood? Alright, so as usual, we are going to find the value of the constant k. Now from the question, we are given that x is equal to 22 and then y is equal to 3. So we are going to substitute these two variables inside this equation, and then we have x, our x now is 22, equal to k divided by y, which is 3. Alright, so when you cross multiply, you are going to have k is equal to 22 multiplied by 3. And 22 multiplied by 3 will give us 66. So the question says we should find the relationship between x and y. So actually this is the relationship between x and y, but since we don't know the value of k, that's why we find the value of k here. Then let's come back here now and plug in the value of k. We have x is equal to k, which is 66 divided by y. So this is the relationship between x and y. Understood? So let's take a look at another question. The question says, if p varies inversely as the square of q and p is equal to 8 when q is equal to 4, find q when p is equal to 32. Solution. Okay, so the question says p varies inversely, that is 1 over. So anytime you hear inverse, that is 1 over. Then 1 over as the square of q. So q squared. Is that understood? So it's not just q, but square of q. Alright, so let's make this an equation by introducing a constant. We have p is equal to, let our constant be k, okay, divided by q squared. Alright, so our k will be equal to p times q squared. And then from the question, we're given that p is equal to 8 and then q is equal to 4. So we are going to substitute that into this. Then we have k is equal to p and p is 8 times q, which is 4 squared. So k is equal to 8 times 4 squared means 4 times 4. Okay, 4 times 4. Alright, so multiplying all of this together, we get the value of k to be equal to 128. Is that understood? Alright, so let's now write the relationship between p and q. So the relationship will be p is equal to k, which is 128, divided by q squared. So this is the relationship between p and q. But the question says that we should find q when p is equal to 32. So when p is equal to 32, what will be the value of q? Then we are going to make use of this relationship between P and Q to do that. Alright, so we have P to be 32 equal to 128 divided by Q squared. When you cross multiply, you have a Q squared multiplied by 32 equal to 128. Okay, so when you multiply that, you have 32 Q squared equal to 128. So dividing both sides by 32. So this 32 will cancel this. We are left with Q squared to be equal to 128 divided by 32. 32 goes in 32, that is 1 time. 32 goes in 128, that is 4 times. Okay, so we have 4 here. To get the value of Q, we are going to take the square root of both sides. So we have square root of Q squared equal to square root of 4. So this cancel this, we are left with Q to be equal to square root of 4 is equal to 2. Okay, it's a perfect square, so plus 2. Understood. So this is how to solve this type of question under inverse variation. Is that understood? Okay. All right, so let's take this another example. The question says a rectangle has a constant area A, its length is L, and its breadth is B. A, write a formula for L in terms of A and B. Then B, write a formula for B in terms of A and L. And question C says, does L vary inversely or directly with B? Now let's solve this question together. Solution. Alright, so they said a rectangle has a constant area. The first question I'm going to ask you is, what is the area of a rectangle? So the area of a rectangle, A, the area is denoted with capital letter A. Understood? So area is equal to length times breadth. That's the formula of area. Alright, so let's write it as this, LB. So that's the area. Now let's begin to answer the questions one after the other. Write a formula for L in terms of A and B. So what they are saying in essence is make L the subject of the formula. Is that okay? So when you divide both sides of this equation by B, you are going to have L to be equal to A over B. And as you can see, so we have write this formula for L in terms of A and B. Now the second question, B, says we should write a formula for B in terms of A and L. We'll still use this formula of area of a rectangle. So but now we are going to write this formula for B in terms of A and L. That is, we are making B the subject of formula. Alright, when you do that, let me write it here. A is equal to LB, dividing both sides by L. So we now have our B to be equal to A divided by L. Alright, so we have write this formula, this area of a rectangle for B in terms of A and L. Alright, so see, the question says, does L vary inversely or directly with B? Now let me write it so that you will understand what they are saying. Okay, for A now we have L to be equal to A over B. Understood? So but it can also be written as L equal to 1 over B times A. Okay, already they told us that A is a constant from this question. They said A is constant, the area is a constant. And you can see we are having L equal to 1 over B. And I told you that when you have 1 over something, so it means that is what we call inverse. Is that understood? So having expressed this L like this, then we can conclude that L vary inversely, okay, inversely with B. Understood? So as simple as that. So this is how to answer this type of question anytime you come across it. Okay. Now at this point, I want you to take your time to answer these two questions as your own classwork. Understood? All right. So please pause this video now and then try these two questions. After you might have tried them, then you can continue this video to see the solution to the questions. Now let's continue. Now P is inversely proportional to Q and P is equal to 5 when Q is equal to 4. What is the value of Q when P is equal to 25? Solution. Okay. Now the question says that P is inversely proportional to Q. All right, so that is how the expression is written. Then P is equal to 5 and Q also is equal to 4. Now this proportion sign, I will change it to equal sign. And when I do that, I'm going to introduce a constant. So my constant is K, then divided by Q. Understood? So for me to find the value of Q when P is equal to 25, so I have to first of all find the relationship between P and Q, which is what I have written here already, but I must know the value of K. So what is the value of the constant? Then crossing multiply, if I cross multiply, I will have K to be equal to P times Q. Okay, so K is equal to, the value of P is 5 times Q is equal to 4. So K will be equal to 5 times 4 is 20. Alright, so the formula connecting P and Q will be equal to P is equal to K, which is 20, divided by Q. Alright, so now when P is equal to 25, what will be the value of Q? That's the question they ask us. Alright, so I'm going to substitute the value of P into this formula for, I'm going to substitute the value of P into this equation connecting P and Q together. So I have 25 equal to 20 divided by Q. Alright, so when you cross multiply, you have 25 times Q, which is 25Q, equal to 20. Alright, so let's continue here. 25Q is equal to 20. Divide both sides by 25. So this 25 will cancel this 25. Then you now have Q to be equal to 20 divided by 25. Alright, so 5 goes in 25, that is 5 times. 5 goes in 20, that is 4 times. So we have 4 divided by 5. And that is the value of Q. Okay, now let's continue. This question says if T is varies inversely as S and T is equal to 2 when S is equal to 60, then find the relationship between T and S. Find the value of T when S is 90. Find the value of S when T is 2.5. Solution. Okay, so T varies inversely as S, so and then T is equal to 2 and S is equal to 60. Okay, now changing this to equation, we have T is equal to then a constant then divided by S. Now let's find the value of our constant. Our constant will be equal to T times S. So K is equal to, the value of T is 2 times the value of S is 60. Okay, so K will now be equal to 2 times 60 will give us 120. Alright, so A, the question says find the relationship between T and S. So the relationship between them is T equal to K. So this is the relationship between them. but now we are going to put in the value of k, and the value of k is 120 divided by s. So that is the relationship between t and s, and that is question 2a. Understood. Then b, the same way you find the value of t when s is equal to 90. So when s is equal to 90, then t will be equal to 120 divided by s, which is 90. Okay, so t will be equal to 120 divided by 90. This 0 will cancel this 0. Understood. Alright, so 3 goes in 9 3 times, 3 goes in 12 4 times. So t will be equal to 4 divided by 3. Alright, so that is the value of t when s is equal to 90. Now c, we want to find the value of s when t is equal to 2 whole number 1 over 2. Then this can also be written as change it to improper fraction. We have 2 times 2 4, 4 plus 1 5 over 2. All right, so we are still using this formula that shows the relationship between t and s, that is t is equal to 120 divided by s. All right, so this time around our t is 5 divided by 2, they're equal to 120 divided by s. Now when we cross multiply, we have 5 times s, that is 5s, equal to 2 times 120. So 2 multiplied by 120 will give us 240. All right, so divide both sides by 5 by 5. So this cancel this. So we now have our s to be equal to 240 divided by 5. So s is 240 divided by 5 will give us 48. Understood? So, and this is the end of the solution to this question. Understood? So, and in our next class, we are going to be looking at word problems in direct and indirect variation. Thank you for watching. Bye.